highest elevation you've ever been to in your life?
I think for me, 6,500 feet.
And this is going to be a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
Double.
Whew.
At some of those mountain spots.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sorgy Stories. I'm Anthony.
I am Daddy. And this is about our baseball tours and where we want to go for some of the next cities we're going to see some Brewers games.
Denver, Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Great city with a lot of food, which you'll be able to see in our next episode.
Next week. First, we are going to show each of our top 5 picks of the places that we want to go when we go to Denver to see the Brewers play the Colorado Rockies. And the very first place that you got on your top 5 list is, well, the exact place where we're going to see the Brewers play.
Exactly. Coors Field. It is in downtown Denver, and they have a really, really cool center field.
Yep.
Forest. And then you can sit a mile high.
Literally.
Yes, I'm not kidding. They have like a row of seats, and you can tell where you're sitting and how high you are. So it's just an amazing stadium, middle of downtown, as I said, and just restaurants all around it. So if you need to eat before or after the game, go to any of those a million restaurants in that neighborhood.
We're going to showcase a couple of them next week. One thing that I found so cool, because every ballpark has its own different feel to it, its own different uniqueness. Mm-hmm. Because of the fact that Denver literally is a mile high, the air is thinner, the outfield is bigger.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
So you tend to see a lot of doubles, a lot of triples going on in games. So think about how high the scores can get there.
Yeah. You see a lot of high-scoring games and a lot of home runs right there in Denver.
It is incredible to watch a game there, and you get a little bit of a view of the Rocky Mountains from there, and it is nestled into the downtown neighborhood, so there's not as much tailgating. It's more go to the pubs, go to the bars, go to the restaurants.
Exactly.
And enjoy yourself there. But we're not just there for baseball.
Yeah.
We want to catch a lot more fun stuff in the Denver area. You've tended to be picking a lot of science museums and a lot of space-related stuff, including
the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, and it has something called Space Odyssey. It's a fantasy spaceship with 43 miles of fiber optic light. I have no idea what fiber optic light is.
You'll figure it out someday, kid.
And you can feel it. There's a literal simulator to feel what a space launch it feels like, and you can drive a Mars rover through a simulator.
Wow. Now, you've been on planes. You know what it's like to take off on a plane and speed up to like a few hundred miles an hour.
Yeah.
Imagine taking a rocket launch and speeding up to 17,000 miles an hour. You can give it a little bigger of a screen there. It's okay.
But then they also have something called the Art of the Brick, which is mock-up artwork made from Legos. And we're talking like some of the greatest artwork ever made in these places. That you can't see in the background, but are there.
Nice. As well as Egyptian mummies and a lot of stuff from Native American cultures. Now we're doing these in alphabetical order, so we're going back for your number 3 to baseball, literally across from Coors Field, at a spot called
the National Ballpark Museum, and Smithsonian ranks it as one of the top 21 finest baseball collections that aren't public in the world.
That much history is in this place, and it goes back to the earliest of the early history of baseball.
The original 14 parks of the MLB, which the original 16 MLB teams played in, they actually have seats from all 14 ballparks. I saw in a picture.
That is so cool. 14,000 feet high with your number 4 pick.
Pike's Peak. It's probably one of America's most famous mountains, with like Mount St. Helens and a couple other mountains around the country. They have the Pike Peaks Highway, which is a toll road, and you can drive up the mountain, and you can drive it. Some of you have to hike, which I would not want to hike like 14,000 feet.
No. I mean, you can walk up the road, but it's still a hike.
And at the top, there's a donut shop.
Yes, so if you do decide to try and get and you lose your energy from the drive and just the wow moments, as well as if you especially try and hike, can get filled with donuts. And you'll be on a sugar high that you then get you back on the drive back to Denver. Or if we would decide to take a different mode of transportation, take a train to Denver, which I'd love to do on the Amtrak California Zephyr from Chicago to San Francisco, you would stop off at the number 5 pick, which is
Union Station. It was built in 1881. It's 140 years old, and it was the largest building in the western U.S., aka west of the Mississippi.
pretty much.
And then it's 500 feet long, and it has a 180-foot clock tower in the middle.
Not as big as Milwaukee's Rockwell Automation Allen Bradley clock tower, but it's still big.
True. It has Amtrak light rail bus system. It's got a hotel, a restaurant, a shopping hub, and
I mean, check out which hotel's in there, though.
the Crawford Hotel, and some of the rooms are inspired by Pullman car suites.
Remember what a Pullman car is?
No.
It was back in the early 20th century, even back in the 19th century, the sleeping cars.
Those,
and the Pullman porters, who, especially when trains became popular as a way of getting across the entire United States, that's how people travel to get from one coast to another.
Or gift store, bookstore, 12 restaurants. And then
12.
one has prosciutto. It's called Mercantile.
Mercantile, yes. It has his favorite type of pizza topping.
They have a milk box ice creamery with some ice cream.
Look at the flavor, though.
Cinnamon churro.
You would go off on that.
They have a place called Snooze. Prosciutto egg Benedict's.
He will enjoy that.
They have something called Terminal Bar with chicken tenders.
You need to say that right, though.
Terminal Bar?
No, the other words.
Oh,
Chicken tenders!
They have the Cooper Lounge with white chocolate cheesecake. That's a lot of C's. Ultria, which has ham croquettes. The top flight Spanish ham.
The kind of ham that is as high quality as you can get. This stuff would make prosciutto look like some kind of ham that I would create myself. It's that good.
I can't believe that.
Believe it,
I'd have
kiddo.
to taste it. I'd have to taste it.
Believe it. Believe it. My top 5 takes us into a lot of the history of the West, as well as even more of a journey when it comes to the incredible nature of Colorado and Denver. Number 1 gives you a western journey into the city of Golden, Colorado, which is nearby Denver. It is the Buffalo Bill Museum and Grave. You ever heard of Buffalo Bill?
A little bit.
Not until we had the conversations about it. This guy embodied what so many of the great stories of the Old West were. He left home at 11 years old. Imagine at your age, right now, herding cattle. You think you could do it?
No. Sheesh. Sheesh.
He joined the Pony Express at the age of 14 years old.
14.
He hunted buffalo at a young age, hence his nickname. Now, buffalo have returned to prominence, especially in the American West, but it was an endangered species because there was so much buffalo hunting at the time. Later on, he started his own Wild West variety and entertainment show. Hundreds of people were involved, along with a whole bunch of cattle, live animals. He really introduced the popularity of bronco riding and roping. And look at the team name that's named after this guy.
Okay, not the Broncos, not the Rockies, but the Buffalo Bills were like all the way across the country. And what is their slogan?
Bills Mafia. There would be no Bills Mafia without some guy in the American West who started these huge, entertainment shows and hunted buffalo when he was supremely young. So you can also go to his gravesite of this place, and it overlooks the mountains. It's amazing.
Go circle the wagon, folks.
Number 2 on my end is a place you were thinking about picking.
I was, but Pike's Peak beat it.
Yep, so I'm going with it, the Colorado State Capitol. You know how Mommy's home state, West Virginia, doesn't have a cool dome?
It does. It's golden. If you don't think West Virginia is a cool place, go check out our series. And we were going to go to the Capitol until we realized there's under renovation.
You will also see the same thing with the Colorado State Capitol. We've got a link down below in the description for this and all the places that we're checking out. But it also includes something called rose onyx marble. You ever walked on marble? I'm sure you have them. It's
Probably.
very ornate
and I don't
buildings.
remember it.
Okay. It's probably like the finest type of flooring you will ever have.
Okay.
They took every single piece of gross onyx in the state of Colorado and made it as part of the Capitol building. And Denver's official mile-high elevation is measured at the Capitol. How many feet's a mile? Remember?
1,000?
Oh, a lot more than that.
10,000?
5,280. I
I
apologize to our international viewers. I don't know the exact conversion of meters, but I think it's around 1,600 meters, equaling a mile. You can find the exact mile-high demarcation at the 15th step of the west stairs outside the building. Now, we've seen some pretty sunsets on the ocean. You ever seen a mountain sunset?
I've seen pictures from Pike's Peak, but
You get it right at that 15th step because you can see the sun go down over the Rocky Mountains.
wow.
That is special. And there's also a beautiful mountain view, which is a bit of a theme here, at my number 3 pick. And it's a mountain view from many of the different seats of this grand, kind of small, but really cool looking stadium, Folsom Field.
It is home to the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah. This will be our 3rd Pac-12 stadium, not Pac-10, as I said in the bloopers. First Pac-10 stadium.
Pac-12.
Our 2nd Pac-10 stadium in less than a week. I'm an old fart. I can still call it Pac-10 if I want. It's the Pac-12. Our 2nd Pac-10 stadium. You're going to ask, why would I pick there and not the home of the Denver Broncos? Here's why. You don't get great mountain views in most of the seating at Mile High Stadium. You do at Folsom Field.
Yeah, and Empower Field at Mile High is bigger. It's closer to downtown Denver. It's right there, but this one has better.
The feeling that you get with the mountains around there, I've shown you pictures of the Rose Bowl. Yeah. I've shown you pictures of just the amazing terrain that's around there and just how picturesque it is. This is how cool it is in Denver with some of the seating. You're seeing some of the footage, by the way, that's being shared from another fantastic YouTuber, Colorado Martini, who's been to a lot of Colorado Buffaloes games. She has a fantastic channel about travel and about history, and going to grave sites, by the way, to help explain history of the American West. So we're going to link her channel somewhere in this neck of the woods, somewhere around there.
There, somewhere.
So we thank you, Colorado Martini, for a lot of the pictures and footage on here, and check her stuff out. My number 4 takes us into the mountains a little bit even more, and it speaks to our Catholic faith, and it is the Mother Cabrini Shrine. St. Frances Cabrini and her devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the work that she did for the poor when she immigrated to the United States. You know a lot about her.
Yeah.
Some research.
Yeah, like literally all he put here is exactly what I learned about her. And she's the patron saint of immigrants, and she actually wanted to become a nun in Italy, but due to health issues, she couldn't. And something that you might not have is that she wanted to go to Asia, but the Pope at the time, I think it was Pope Leo, one of the Pope Leos, said...
There have been a few.
Yeah, said, go west. And that's how she ended up in New York.
Go west, young woman, instead of go west, young man, is the same as the old phrase goes. And she headed where? To New York City, I think, to start most of what she was doing to help a lot of the immigrants there. And then she set up this property near Denver as a summer camp for orphan kids.
Wow.
And then on the property, they found this miraculous spring, which still runs and provides water for the entire complex. They didn't know it was there. They had to dig deep.
Oh, wow.
And they found the thing. And there's also a 373-step stairway of prayer to a 22-foot statue of Jesus on that property.
That's a big statue. That's probably double the height of the ceiling of the room.
And imagine trying to climb 373 steps.
Whew.
That's 5 times the Rocky Steps. You remember what that was.
Yeah. Oh, and fun fact, when she went to New York, she thought she had like everything set up. She got there, her house wasn't ready.
Whoop.
Yep. So she had to like live in an apartment or something.
Someone made a boo-boo. My number 5. This is, we talked about Pikes Peak having the capability to drive up to the top of the mountain. This one's even higher. Mount Evans. It is the highest paved road in North America.
Whew.
14,264 feet above sea level. Doing the math, that's somewhere in the neck of the woods of around 3,500, maybe 4,000 meters for our international viewers. And you can drive to the top of the thing. Imagine the views. Imagine what you would be able to see at the top. Cannot wait to check that out. And nearby is a really cool lake at 10,400 feet called Echo Lake.
That's pretty high compared to Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, we're about 600 feet elevation here. That's 10,400. We go picnicking, hiking up there. I think we could bring some prosciutto sandwiches.
Yeah.
You'd be happy. But as we mentioned when we came to sort of the idea of the picnic, you gotta eat, kid.
You gotta eat.
And we have found some amazing cuisine in Denver. Some of his favorite foods.
A lot of cheese curds.
A lot of cheese curds, but also some really quintessential Colorado cuisine when it comes to especially beef, and especially when it comes to the Mexican influence on Colorado cooking. That's coming in our next game plan episode. What should people do to check it out, buddy?
Like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Ding, ding, ding. 100%.
Comment favorite place you've gone in Denver, and if you haven't been there, where do you want to go? And which would you rather go to? Folsom Field, Coors Field, or Empower Field at Mile High?
And one more. What's the highest elevation you've ever been to in your life?
I think for me, 6,500 feet.
Somewhere around that neck of the woods, probably somewhere in West Virginia. And this is going to be a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
Double
Whew.
at some of those mountain spots. For a little buddy who's out of breath, I'm Daddy. Take us out, will you?
So long from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Soji Story Studios, everybody. See ya.